The film begins with a guy named Terry riding his bike down the road. Terry was a soldier in the Marines, and now he's rushing to pay his cousin Michael's bail and get him out of jail. Suddenly, a police car hits him, knocking him off his bike. Two police officers jump out, tackle him to the ground, and handcuff him. He asks them, "What did I do? What's going on?" The police tell him, "We've been following you for a while. You were running away. We followed you because there's a complaint that this bike you're riding is stolen, and we suspect you're the thief." He calmly replies, "This is my bike, and I'm not the thief you're looking for." The problem escalates when they find an envelope containing $36,000. This is a lot of money for someone to be carrying around. They accuse him of drug dealing. Terry explains, "I'm taking this money to pay my cousin's bail, who's currently detained. I sold my car and my share of the restaurant to raise this amount. My cousin only needs $10,000 of it, and the rest we're going to use to start a business together when he gets out." He assures him he has nothing to do with drugs or theft, but the police don't believe him. They tell him, "We have to verify the source of this money, so we'll hold on to it for now, and you can get it back legally later." They write him a report, affidavit, give it to him, and then leave. Terry is left confused, not knowing what to do. He immediately goes to the city courthouse and speaks with an employee named Elliot. Terry asks him to see if he can postpone Michael's transfer to the main prison until he can get the bail money. Elliot apologizes, saying, "I can't do anything. The transfer decision has already been processed in another office." Nearby, a trainee lawyer named Summer overhears their conversation. She approaches Terry and sits with him at a nearby coffee shop to understand his problem. Terry explains that his cousin was working with the government and was framed by the police. He needs the $10,000 bail to prevent him from being sent to the state prison, where gang members are waiting for him to seek revenge. Summer tells him that the police in this city are all corrupt and are deliberately stealing his money to cover the city's debts. She advises him to find a way to get the bail money now, and she will do her best to postpone his cousin's transfer. Terry thanks her and immediately calls his business partner at the restaurant, Lou, and asks him to lend him the $10,000. Lou tells him, "Give me a little time, I'll try to gather the money for you." That night, Terry couldn't go home and slept in the woods. The next morning, he goes to the city police station and asks to see Officer Mason because he stole my money. Mason comes out, yells at Terry, and tells him to go home. Terry refuses to leave. Their chief, Captain Byrne, comes out, looks at the report, and tells him the money was confiscated. "You're just making it difficult for yourself now. It's best if you turn off that recording you have running and leave without trouble." Terry was, in fact, recording the conversation. Terry calmly stops the recording and tells Captain Byrne, "Let's agree on something simple. You give me just the $10,000 from the money, and I forgive you for the rest." Chief Byrne agrees and tells Terry they will meet the next day at a specific place, and Terry can meet his cousin and get the money. Poor Terry is relieved, unaware that Byrne is even more corrupt. The next day, Terry rode his bike to the agreed-upon location. As soon as he arrived, Byrne coldly told him, "You're 3 minutes late. Your cousin has already been taken on the transport bus with the prisoners to the state prison." Terry was shocked, but he immediately rode at top speed to catch the bus. He found it still on the road, got close, and began knocking on the windows until Michael looked out. Terry told him, "Don't worry, I'll do everything I can to get you out." Exhausted, Terry rushed to the courthouse to see Summer and asked her what he should do now. She told him, "The only thing that can save your cousin is if you pay the bail money." Terry left and called Lou, who delivered a second shock. The police had already come to the restaurant and taken all the cash they found. Terry realized the corrupt police had blocked his last chance to free his cousin. Meanwhile, Chief Byrne ordered his men to look up Terry's background. As Officer Jess began searching for him, Terry showed up outside the police station. Byrne came out and asked him, "Why did you come back here?" Terry replied, "We had an agreement and you didn't keep your word. Why did you do that?" Byrne retorted, "I'm free to do as I please. I don't take orders from anyone beneath me." Jess found Terry's file and told Mason this guy was a soldier in the Marines, a professional in martial arts. Mason feared for his chief, grabbed his weapon, and rushed out, telling Terry to stay away from Byrne. Terry, having run out of options, quickly snatched Byrne's weapon. When Mason got too close, he disarmed him. Then he cuffed Byrne's hand and forced them both into the station under gunpoint. He sat them down and ordered Jess to put them in handcuffs and take him to the room where the money was being held so he could take his $10,000. When he entered the room with Jess, he saw that it was full of stolen weapons. He realized all the police in this town were corrupt. He took the money and instructed Jess to pretend she was arresting him and to escort him out so none of the police would bother him. He put his hands behind his back, pretending to be handcuffed, and she took him out. They both got into the police car, and she drove him to the location he wanted. When he got out, he told her to notify the police that he had escaped, and then he let her go. Terry went straight to the courthouse and paid his cousin's bail. Summer came to him and asked him, "How did you do it?" He replied, "I decided to sacrifice myself to save my cousin from death." At that moment, the police arrived to arrest him. Terry didn't resist. After being checked by the police doctor, he was taken to meet Chief Byrne. Byrne gave him shocking news. When your cousin arrived at the prison, some inmates stabbed him and he died instantly. Byrne then offered, "I've decided to give you back all your money that we took, and I've prepared a car for you so you can take everything and leave this city today without any trouble. The only condition is that you stay away from this case and this city and don't dig into our affairs again." Terry felt defeated and agreed. He went to the morgue to see Michael's body, cried, and said goodbye. Then he went to Summer and asked her to drive him out of the city. On the way, she told him that the police station targets innocent people and keeps them locked up for exactly 90 days before demanding a large amount of bail. Terry was past caring and said, "This case no longer concerns me because the person I was fighting for is dead." Summer drove him to the car Byrne left, and Terry drove away. A few days later, Summer woke up to a disturbance. She found a heroin needle with blood in her sink and a police car sticker on her fridge. She realized the police had injected her with heroin. She called Terry, who returned immediately. She told him the police were taking revenge on her for helping him, and the staged overdose would get her fired and cost her custody of her daughter. The next day, the judge called her in and ordered a drug test, which came back positive. She was fired and forbidden from seeing her daughter again. Meanwhile, Terry was driving out of the city, but ran into Officer Mason, who started shooting and attacked him. He narrowly escaped, finally using a taser on Mason and fleeing. He called Summer, who told him they got what they wanted. I was fired and lost my daughter. I'm packing my things to leave this dangerous city. Terry told her, meet me at my old restaurant tonight. They met, and Lou was treating Terry's back wound from the fight with Mason. They talked about the significance of the 90-day wait for the innocent people. Summer suggested that the courthouse employee, Elliot, might know the secret. They went to Elliot, who was too scared to tell them anything, but gave them a crucial piece of information. The city's head judge could help them. They went to the judge's house, sat him down, and asked him for the truth about the police corruption. He told them the whole story. Began when Captain Byrne was involved in a homicide case that caused a large municipal budget deficit due to compensation payments. The court ordered Byrne to pay all the debt. He didn't have the money, so he came up with the idea to steal money under the guise of the law. The secret of the 90 days is that the law requires the police to record the arrests. Since the recordings would show the corruption, they can't be seen. However, if 90 days pass, the law states the court can no longer request them. By holding people for exactly 90 days, they erase the evidence of their innocence, take their bail money, and use it to slowly pay down the city's debts and bribe the police force, including the judge himself. He also told them that all the recordings were kept in a secret room in the courthouse. Terry and Summer rushed to the courthouse. They found a small fire and realized the police were trying to burn the room and the recordings. They managed to rescue all the recordings. As they were leaving, Summer told Terry to go ahead as she wanted to grab something from the judge's office, her drug test results. But the police saw her and arrested her. Terry was furious, and seeing one of the officers nearby, quickly disarmed and subdued him. Then he used the officer's radio to call the others, saying, "Your man is with me, and I won't return him until you release Summer. If you don't do what I say, I'll expose all your crimes with the recordings I have." Fearing exposure, they agreed to meet him the next morning at a location in the woods when the sun came up. The next day, the police surrounded the area, expecting Terry. From a distance, they saw a car stopped and thought he was inside. One of them approached and found only Lou, who had been captured. Terry knew the station would be empty, so he went there instead and found Chief Byrne. Byrne immediately shot at him, but missed. Terry also found Officer Jeff,